Welcome back and welcome in. And breaking news, the long overdue, much delayed matchup between Roadhouse star Knox, aka the notorious Conor McGregor, and Michael Chandler has officially been canceled. This comes after about a week or so of constant rumors going back and forth. The fight was on, the fight was off. Officially, Dana White announced tonight the fight is off and has been canceled due to injury to Conor McGregor. And that fight has been replaced with a new main event of Alex Poatan Pereira against Jiri Prochazka in a rematch. Also, Jamal Hill had to pull out of his co-main event slot with injury against Carlos Ulberg, I believe the opponent was. Replacing that fight is going to be Brian Ortega taking on Diego Lopes. And that's Lopes with an S, not Lopez with a Z. Take it as you like. So it's a brand new card, essentially, at the top. What can we say about Conor McGregor? A lot of talk, a lot of headlines, a lot of stories, a lot of arrests, and not a lot of wins and not a lot of fights in the past few years. His career has definitely been derailed inside the cage. It's hard to knock his success outside of it. As I mentioned, he was in Roadhouse. It just seems like fighting mentally isn't something he's truly invested in, and now his body seems like it's not responding to it as well. I don't know the nature of the injury, but this is a guy who hasn't had a credible win in quite some time. And if you look at his recent resume, the only win he has in the past few years was against Donald Cerrone at 170, and beating Donald Cerrone at 170 or 155 is just a rite of passage for any guy fighting in either one of those divisions. Conor still has the name, he still has the draw, but it's going to be hard-pressed to kind of sell him the same way that they sold him before, just because he doesn't fight, and when he does fight, he doesn't win. It's kind of hard, but in regards to Michael Chandler, you kind of have to feel sorry for him, but not really sorry for him because he's sat around waiting for this fight, which I understand. This is the biggest payday he could possibly get in MMA or in the UFC, so it's kind of hard to say, well, I'm going to take another fight instead of waiting Conor out. But at this point in time, we're going on 2 years since he last fought. He's a guy, while he never tends to really step up and beat high-level competition, he always steps up in terms of his performance. He's never a guy that you're going to count out or question his heart in the fight. He's always bringing it. He just always seems to lose to that higher-level competition. But this is a fight that I think he should have been favored to win. I don't see many roads to Conor McGregor really beating Michael Chandler, especially at this point in time. But they've also both been so far removed from the last cage performances. It's just difficult to get a gauge of where either one of them is at in terms of skill, in terms of rhythm. I don't think either one of them at this point in their career truly cares about their placement in the 155 pound or 170 pound division. They're just fighting, honestly, for a payday. And that's probably why this fight has been so snake bitten. This is a fight where, let's be honest, there isn't anything on the line other than two guys showing up to make money. It's not very different from Mayweather versus McGregor. But you just think Chandler is still within the mix of his UFC career where he probably could be fighting for something a little bit more athletically, sports-wise. But I get him, again, holding out for the money. As for the main event, Alex Pereira, he is quickly becoming not only a fan favorite, but one of the most popular fighters in the sport. And it's things like this, stepping in on last-minute notice to defend your title. I favor him over Jiri, but as much as I love Pereira and I love watching him fight, he is susceptible to getting hit. We've seen that in a few of his fights, so I don't think he's quite the world beater that he's starting to get his reputation for, but he's also just amazing and awesome to watch. He always brings it, he's always entertaining, and his knockouts are highlight level. You're talking about a guy who all he does is beat either current or former UFC champions. Sean Strickland, Izzy, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri, Jamal Hill. This guy just beats champions. He has accomplished so much in such a short period of time. It's hard to question his greatness in such a short period of time, if I'm being honest. And in about 2 years, he's already cemented himself in terms of accomplishments as one of the most accomplished fighters, not only in mixed martial arts history, but in combat history. He's had a decorated career in kickboxing before this, and now he's cemented his legacy as a great MMA fighter. So I'm looking forward to seeing this main event. The co-main event, I don't know too much about Diego Lopes, if I'm being honest, but Brian Ortega always brings it, so that should be entertaining. Looking forward to UFC 303. Conor McGregor, man, I don't know, bro. Get healthy, get well, and get back to the cage soon.